Welcome back to Canadian Goose Studios. I'm your host. Today is Hemus. And today we will be doing something new. I'm going to be ranking every single one of my favorite movies from every year I've been alive. So let's get right into it. We return now. This might surprise you how old I am, but I'm not going to tell you, but you can probably do math or something. But starting this off with our first year, we have 2007. Now, this year had some odd movies to me, but I do like most of them. Now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to have any honorable mentions. I'll have how many I feel like, if it's a good year, or if it's like, if it has one honorable mention, then it's like, a decent year. If it has none, then it's like, oh. But starting us off with 2007, for our honorable mentions, we have the Simpsons movie. Now, this movie is, such an odd film. I do really like the animation when it zooms out, like for the cars and stuff. But when it comes to like the story, it's just like any other Simpsons episode, Like, I'm sort of getting bored of watching The Simpsons. It's going a bit too over the top with everything and just getting a bit lame. But with the 2007 Simpsons movie, that was quite a good movie, actually. The story, what I said, it's a little bit different. It's a bit sad, and they got some funny stuff in it, some funny jokes. But it's kind of like an episode, and that's why it didn't get number one on 2007. But I do love the jokes. As you might know, Spider-Pig, love that character, if you're wondering. Moving on to honorable mention number 2, we have Blades of Glory. Now, I know most people are doing these 2000 movies with like dark dramas, but this one's not a drama. It stars Jon Heder, Will Ferrell, and Will Arnett are in this movie, and it's just a movie about skating, and I think Jon Heder and Will Ferrell are against each other, and then they had to work together in this. I haven't seen this movie in a while. I'll rewatch it one time, but it's a really funny movie. The story is quite stupid. That's the reason why it's not on the top of this list, because it's not stupid enough. But, it's sort of a love story involved in this one, which is weird, but do I ever love this movie? The music, solid. The acting, not very good. It's like, but Blades of Glory is a great movie. It's about ice figure skating comedy. I definitely think you should watch it if you're into comedies. But moving on to the movie of this one, it will be Hot Rod. Now, Hot Rod is a really stupid movie. Here's the actors: Andy Samberg, Bill Hader, Will Arnett again. Like, he's in so many movies now. My friend actually told me about this one, and I've heard of it before, but I tried watching it, and I thought this movie was a good movie, like a great movie, actually. So much humor, great music. Andy Samberg is excellent in this film. It is a very, very stupid film. That's why I wouldn't put it at it's not like any of my top 20 or something, but it's a really fun film to watch, very rewatchable. It's about a guy who wants to prove to his stepdad that he's his son by beating him up, but the dad needs a heart implant, so Andy Samberg tries to raise money by doing stunts, which is what he loves to do. And that's practically what the movie is right there. It's not like anything big or anything, but I think it's a good movie. I definitely recommend this one. Moving on to 2008, For honorable mention, we have The Dark Knight. I'll have 2 honorable mentions, but The Dark Knight is like one of the best superhero movie. I think I put it at my 10th or something, but it is a great movie. Heath Ledger is incredible as the Joker. I think Joaquin Phoenix is a little bit better just because, he took on this hard role of like craziness, but when it comes to Heath Ledger, he is also incredible as the Joker, and very, very good actor. Christian Bale as the Batman is incredible. He plays probably the best Batman I've ever seen. Love the action in this movie. Love that truck flip that they do. That is spot on there. One of the, I know people thought this would have been the start of DCEU, which it should have been, because Christian Bale would have been an awesome Batman. I would have loved to see him meet up with Wonder Woman, Flash, Superman, all of them. Aquaman, it would have been so cool to see him meet up with them. But, I did like him in Ford vs. Ferrari more. But he is incredible in this one too. The story for this one, it's sort of like a Batman movie, but guess what? It doesn't show the backstory. Finally, I can't believe they didn't do that. But they did in Batman Begins, which was the start of this. But great movie, and I'm very excited for Batman 2021, that new one with Robert Pattinson as Batman. That's going to be great. I'm very excited for that. So we have one more honorable mention for 2008, which will be Iron Man, because I really do love this film. It's kind of like a classic to me, because it sort of looks like a classic, like him in the desert. I gotta say, I really, really do like this one. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man was the absolute perfect choice. And it's kind of incredible that they chose Iron Man as the first MCU film. You would think they would have done Spider-Man or some other characters, but no. They did Iron Man, which I think is absolutely insane. The visual effects for the time were good, but now they're okay, but they're still fun to watch, but I don't really like Jeff Bridges as the villain. He's not the best villain to me, and I think they could have done better with a different villain. Whiplash is not a good villain either, but, he's decent, but this one isn't very good. He's just tried to copy Iron Man, but it's a fun movie to watch, though, looking back from Endgame to Iron Man, you're like, what? That happened? But I really do like Iron Man, and I hope you have seen this one. If you haven't, I don't know, if you've seen Endgame and haven't seen Iron Man, that's okay, I don't know. But we had to move on to my the movie of 2008, which would be Tropic Thunder. Now, this movie is about a couple actors who have to shoot a movie in the real Vietnam War. I think it was Vietnam War. Well, it wasn't at the time, but they went to Vietnam to fight to shoot a movie. But the main guy dies, the recorder, and they still think they're in a movie. Well, Ben Stiller does, and they're all walking around great cast. You got Ben Stiller, Robert Downey Jr., Tom Cruise. I think there's other people in this one, but I'm sorry if I don't. Oh, Matthew McConaughey is in this one. What? But Tropic Thunder is a really funny film to watch. I think it's rated R and stuff, so it's a bit violent sometimes, but it's weird, very weird, but not as weird as The Lighthouse and Cats. But Tropic Thunder is just a solid film, a really great film. I do love this one. Very watchable, but it has a little twist at the end of it, so better watch that one. Moving on to 2009, we do not have any honorable mentions, so you can tell this isn't the best year. But the winner is already Gentlemen Broncos. Now, you probably haven't heard of this movie, but it's very, very odd. Because the main dude, like, there's this kid who wants to write a book, and the main character in the book is Bronco, and he rides on, like, this deer, like, toy deer or something. But in the real world, because it just cutscenes to that, in the real world, what's his name? The kid in it is wanting to write a book, so he gives it to this famous author that he really likes, and the author reads it and just takes the idea and makes it into his own book called like Brutus or something, and it's a really funny movie. And if there was another movie on here, I probably would have still put Gentlemen Broncos at the top. But, it just gets really weird when it shows the cutscenes inside of the book. Like Bronco, really weird movie. But, you got Sam Rockwell, the guy who was in Jojo Rabbit. And then he's Bronco and Brutus, like, it's very, very weird. And, definitely rewatchable, but very, very weird. It's not like one of my top 10 favorite films, nor 20. It may be in like 30, like maybe 20 to 30. Somewhere in between there, Gentlemen Broncos would be. But we must move on to 2010. My honorable mentions would be Boy. Now, I hope you probably actually haven't heard of this one, but it's a Taika Waititi film. And as you might know, Taika Waititi is my favorite director. I'll be doing top 10 favorite directors of all time. But Taika Waititi is my favorite director. And this movie, Boy, I think was the third Taika Waititi movie I saw, or fourth, something like that. It might have been the fourth. But Boy is a movie where he imagines stuff about his dad, because his dad's gone and his mom is dead. But his dad comes, like, he imagines, like, his dad is deep sea diver, which is played by Taika Waititi. Imagine he's a deep sea diver, adventure, and all that stuff. And when the dad comes, he's not a very good guy, It's a very sad movie, but also a funny movie. Like, Taika Waititi is a master of making a sad but funny movie, and I think that is insane how he can do that. I really like this movie. It's not as good as the other Taika Waititi movies, because this one just is a lot different. Every single one's different, but it's just not as good as them, I think. Like, it's not as adventure or like as funny, and like it's not the type of humor that I'm looking for, but it's still a funny movie. But it's quite sad and didn't get to me as Jojo Rabbit and What We Do in the Shadows did, but still really like this one. But we must move on to the winner of 2010, which is Inception. Inception is Christopher Nolan's heist film. Christopher Nolan is a great director. Love his films. I am so excited for Tenet. But Inception is a heist movie, but it's sort of in their minds. It's like a dream. They're sort of talking about dreams. The visual effects for this movie are excellent for 2010. And Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy are in this movie. Tom Hardy, the guy who played Venom and Mad Max? Yeah, he's in this movie. He's actually a quite good actor in this one. But Leonardo DiCaprio is excellent in this film, of course. But it is so weird, this film. Like, time, it works differently for every time. It's like slower in every dream world. And just really insane film. And I don't know, like, I can't believe I haven't seen this film sooner, but it is a great film. I think it's like The Matrix, but I like this one more than The Matrix, just because, like, the way they did the running on, like, the walls while they're flipping is just actually real and quite insane. Like, it's not revolutionary, it's a little bit. Like, the visuals are mastermind. But we must move on to 2011, which I only have one honorable mention for this one, which is Captain America: The First Avenger. Now, Captain America: The First Avenger is a great film. I do really love this one, and when I first saw it, I really liked it. But now I'm like, okay, yeah, it's still really good, but I don't like it as much. It's not like the thing about this film that I like more is because it's more realistic than Avengers Endgame, which I like Avengers Endgame more, but this one's very realistic because it's about the war and stuff. Like, it's not like over the top, like space alien dude with a giant sword like cutting through Captain America's shield. Like, okay, but this one's much more realistic, and Red Skull is a fine villain. Like, he's not my favorite. You see, Red Skull is not, he's a decent villain, not like my favorite or anything, but he's fine. But it's a bit dumb when Captain America, starts chasing after the taxi and runs through the wall, because that's a bit cheesy. Some of the scenes are cheesy, but most of the time it's a quite good film. I really like this one. Some people won't like this one, I know that, but, I liked it more than Star Wars. But moving on to the winner of 2011, we have Singham. Singham is just an excellent film. The action in this movie is incredible. I didn't watch this movie with subtitles, so it was hard for me to understand. But if there were subtitles, I would know this was a great movie. There's two scenes where Singham starts to sing excellent. But the action is absolutely good. Singham rips a pole out of the wall or something. But when it comes down to the story, I remember that someone shot themselves, and then Singham's this detective, and he's going through town trying to find the mafia and beat the shit out of them. That's practically Singham, and what a great movie it ended with. There's some scenes in this movie where he's just walking in slow-mo, and it's Singham. That's what it's like. It's absolutely incredible. I definitely recommend this film. Great movie. Well, moving on to 2012, our honorable mentions, I only have one, which will be The Avengers. The Avengers is the first superhero team-up movie, which was kind of revolutionary because we see a lot of team-up movies, but The Avengers was the first one, and a lot of people like this one. I liked it. Great movie. The visual effects are a bit cheesy at sometimes, but the Hulk, he is excellent. But what is with Captain America's suit? Why does it look so tight? It's not right. I don't like that suit. It's not very good to me, and I really like the movie, but that suit just takes the movie somewhere else. Thor isn't my favorite character in this one either. I love him in the new ones, but in this one, he's why? It's amazing how this was the only Super Marvel movie in 2012, which they could have made a Black Widow movie at least, but they didn't, and it was a good movie. I really like Iron Man. Captain America's suit I don't like, but Captain America's good. And I know that John Krasinski, if you know him in The Office, he was meant to play Captain America, which I could definitely see him as Captain America, I could. I do think Chris Evans is a great Captain America, but I could see John Krasinski as Captain America. But moving on to the winner of 2012, we have James Bond 007 Skyfall. Now, Skyfall is filled with action. If you love action movies, this is the one for you. But it definitely is weird to me, because when it comes down to some of the scenes where James Bond has to go to Shanghai, that's a bit weird, because that doesn't really connect to the actual movie. I guess he meets a girl, and then she shows him to the place where he's trying to beat up the villain, but it's a bit weird to me. I'm not the biggest fan of that part of the movie, but other than that, this movie's a really good film, and really like it. Really like the characters, the action. Like some of the characters, not all, but the girl Judi Dench, like I'm not a fan of her either, and I don't know why she made the girl shoot at James Bond, like what the James Bond, and he fell into the water, and he's like, I'm back. But James Bond movies are great, and I can't wait to see No Time to Die. Now, sadly, the 2013 wasn't a very good year for movies for me. The only one I have on this list was Iron Man 3, just because, I really like this film, but I'm pretty sure there could be much more better movies of 2013 than Iron Man 3. I do like this film in all its glory, the villain's not very good, but, it's Christmas-themed Marvel movie. Robert Downey Jr. as Iron Man, great. Gwyneth Paltrow as Pepper Potts, great. Don Cheadle as War Machine, good. He's good. The Potato Kid, he could have had a bigger role in more Marvel movies. Like, he's in Endgame, but he could have had a bigger role in more Marvel movies. Like, could have at least had a cameo. But he's good in Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is just a fun film to the Marvel Universe. And I think this is when Marvel started to get good. Because, this is before Thor Dark World. Never mind. Captain America Winter Soldier started to go on the streak of Marvel movies being good. Iron Man 3 was good, but when Thor Dark World had to be there, it just ruined the streak. But I think Iron Man 3 is a really good film. The visuals are fine. It's not like they're anything cool. They are good, but it's not like they're revolutionary. Mandarin, the way he switched it up, I know a lot of people didn't like that, but I thought it was fine, But now we're getting the Mandarin and the Shang-Chi and the Ten Rings or something. But we'll see how that turns out, I'm not, too excited, but it could be good. I think they're shooting right now. I don't know, but we'll see what happens with that. But moving on to 2014, we had good movies, but I only narrowed it down to one honorable mention, which will be Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, I really like this film because they haven't done a Marvel movie or a superhero movie like this. They made it a cosmic superhero movie. Marvel was taking a huge risk when they did this film. Putting a raccoon and talking raccoon and talking tree in this, that was a huge risk for Marvel. Did it pay off? Definitely. Now, I just think this is insane. How we get to see Rocket Raccoon in the Avengers Endgame. How he's part of the Avengers in that, and he's wearing one of the suits. I just think that is insane, and how they did that. But what can you say? It turned out to be an excellent film. One of my favorite Marvel movies. I think it's my fourth favorite Marvel movie. And some great action. The visuals weren't amazing or anything, but they were good. Costume design was incredible. Mostly everyone was aliens. The whole team was aliens of Guardians of the Galaxy, except Chris Pratt. That's what I like to see. I like to see more aliens, and boom, I got that. And this Star Wars, come on. The only alien in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker is penis head. And he's not that cool or anything. Come on, what the fuck? Yeah, I don't know. But Guardians of the Galaxy offered me so much in that. And, Ronan isn't a bad villain, but he's not my favorite one. It's a bit weird how he takes the Power Stone from Thanos, because Thanos is a big, lazy shit. I don't know. But let's move on to the winner of 2014 is my favorite movie of all time, What We Do in the Shadows, about five vampire roommates who are living together in one house. And this is probably the stupidest movie I've ever seen. Because when they film downtown, I think they're filming for real. It's not like they're actually set up a place to film. They just started filming and it's hey, we want to get into your party. Yeah. It's such a funny movie. Taika Waititi, another Taika Waititi movie. This is my favorite one from him. When next goal wins, I would do all 7 Taika Waititi films ranked from worst to best. But What We Do in the Shadows is so good. So unique. It's not really like a sad movie. Well, it is sad when we see PETA get burned to death. Spoiler. Spoiler warning if you haven't seen this one, but I'm pretty sure you haven't, and I definitely recommend this one. Like, oof, you might, when you see the trailer for the first time, you may think it's a horror movie, but when it gets right into it, you see the vampire vacuuming the house. That is great. You know, I wouldn't give this movie 100. I haven't seen a movie I would ever give 100 out of 100. But I would give this like 99.5 or something. Really, really close, but not there yet. And really do love this movie. It's so funny with the haunted house and everything. PETA is like the best character in it. Jermaine is in this one. Just great cast, and so excited to see Nick Skull wins. But moving on to 2015, my honorable mention will be Room. Now, this one stars Brie Larson and Jacob Tremblay, which you know Brie Larson as Captain Marvel, and you know Jacob Tremblay in Good Boys. We're bad. We're so bad. We're bad. Sorry. But with Room, it's just such an excellent film. Like, this one's really sad, though, because it's about Brie Larson holding Jacob Tremblay, her son, in this room and telling him that's the whole world. There's nothing else in the world. And they just live together there, and then they get kidnapped into the hospital. Oh, sorry, that doesn't make sense. But I just remember they go to the hospital, and they had to make the son into a girl to hide everything, and it's just a really, really sad movie, and I definitely recommend this one. Very sad, but I hope you guys have seen this one. But the winner of 2015, of course, is Furious 7, the best Fast and Furious movie. I really do love this film so much. The action is great. Shaw is my favorite villain in the Fast universe, and I love that he turned good, because Shaw and Hobbs, Dwayne Johnson and Jason Statham, are so funny actors, and putting them in Hobbs and Shaw was an excellent choice. Furious 7 is one of my, I think my 15th favorite movie. It is so good. Action is great. James Wan, I think that's what it is. He is an excellent director. If you see these long shots that he does of fighting, I don't know, that's really cool how he does it. Sometimes he'll make it go close up, which I don't really like that, but I like the far action that he does, which is quite cool. This movie is, of course, it's not like my favorite movie, but it's it's up there because, the story is Fast and Furious. I love the physics in this movie. It makes absolute no sense. We call them Fast and Furious physics. So excited for F9. Just love how Vin Diesel drove off the cliff and went up. How does that work? Just tell me how. And I do love this film so much. It's sad how Paul Walker died, but, in this movie, they didn't kill him off. They actually sent him away in a different way than killing him off, which I thought was incredible how they did that, because it's a different way of finding, death than just, saying, showing it all, and then at the end it's, for Paul. And so good movie. Love this movie. I think I saw this at, the end of 2019 summer, which is quite sad I didn't see it sooner, but now I really like it. Moving on to 2016, my honorable mention is Hunt for the Wilderpeople. This movie is a great movie. It's another Taika Waititi film, of course. I do really like it, but, this next movie coming up is just better for me. I do like it more. But Hunt for the Wilderpeople is a funny movie, very funny. It's about an orphan boy who's living with his aunt and uncle, but the aunt dies, the one who's taking care of him the most, and his uncle and him go on a journey to run away from the orphanage to take him back and find a new home. And there's some really funny jokes, It's a kid from Deadpool 2. I don't know his name, but it's funny how they call him like the fat Jane Foster, and then the girl chasing after him is like the Terminator or something. It's really, really, really funny. And Taika Waititi is just such a great director. He finds a way to make a movie happy but then sad. Like, the ant dying was so sad and unexpected, actually. And then he makes it happy, actually. So it's just incredible how he can do this stuff. I think this movie is really good. Some, like, with him moving with the girl and him meeting her for the first time is a bit weird, but also funny. It's a bit repetitive also, and other than that, it's a great movie. I definitely do love this one. But moving to the winner of 2016, we have Captain America Civil War. Captain America Civil War is like my third favorite Marvel movie, or my second favorite MCU film. I just really, really like this one so much. It's not just because the movie's great. Like, I love Captain America and Iron Man fighting and all. But when it comes down to the memories of this movie, I just really like the memories most of all. And, like, the movie is great and all, but yeah, the memories are just make it better. Like, Endgame, yeah, it had good memories, but not as good as Captain America Civil War. It made them funny, and looking back, it was so nice. I really just think that the action in this movie is great, like that fast action. Ooh, that is some good action. I don't know how they did that. The Russo brothers, great directors, really love their work, but they are geniuses, absolute geniuses, how they do this stuff. And the battle in the airport between Iron Man's team and Captain America's team is pretty fun to watch, I gotta say. Just them brawling it out. Like, after watching it a while, you know what's gonna happen. But this movie also introduced Spider-Man, Black Panther, and even Ant-Man into the MCU universe. Like, before he was had a solo film, but now he's actually in a movie, running around in Iron Man suit, blowing it up and stuff. So I just think this is an excellent film. Baron Zemo is a good villain, but there's some stuff that's just a little bit off on this film. Tony Stark's parents with Baron Zemo killing them off and all that. They keep on repeating that, and that's a bit repetitive, and it's okay, we know what happened. You don't need to show us it at all. And it's a dark movie, but it's also a really good movie. There's not that much wrong with this movie. I really do like this one. Crossbones isn't the best villain. It doesn't make sense. Why is after Captain America so much? Just because he beat the shit out of you the first time? Okay. But moving on to 2017, we have some honorable mentions. My first honorable mention will be Thor Ragnarok. These are all really close movies to the winner, but the winner is chosen right. Thor Ragnarok is my first honorable mention. Really good movie, Taika Waititi. Funny, great music, and new actors. You got some new characters. Tessa Thompson is Valkyrie. Kate Blanchett is Hela. Taika Waititi is Cole. Men wanna come, put going on the ship. We got the giant wolf. Heimdall is a bigger part in this one. Taika Waititi killed off the bad characters. Didn't include that other Valkyrie girl. To get rid of her because she sucked. And then they added Valkyrie, the good one. She is great. All these characters are so funny. They even introduced, the Grandmaster, Jeff Goldblum. Let's give a round of applause to that man. Great actor. But Thor Ragnarok is a wicked film. I'm just going to make these short because I have a lot of honorable mentions. But Thor Ragnarok is a great movie, and I definitely recommend this one if you haven't seen it. I know some people think they kill off they do kill off the characters just to make a joke. Like that guy with the bombing off. It didn't make sense to me. They should have just killed him to begin with, and they kept him alive. But it's fine, I really like this movie. But moving on to our next honorable mention, we have The Greatest Showman. Now this movie, it's early 1900s or late 1800s, and just such a good movie. I do really like this is a musical movie, and I don't like many of these, but I do like this one because this one actually has a good point to this one. Like, just it's not like how bad you look or anything, but it's about who you are, you know? Not like every other movie, but this one really showed that in the end. Hugh Jackman is incredible as the Greatest Showman, and he wants to see his little girls grow up. Zac Efron is great in this one. Great cast, actually. Zendaya's in this one. I forgot the Hugh Jackman's wife. It's like Michelle something, but great cast, great movie. Really like this one. But these two other movies are really close together, but I gotta say the winner of this one will be not the same, but you might be disappointed in what I chose, but my next honorable mention will be Logan. This movie is a great movie. It was so hard to decide which one was better of these two, but Logan gets behind. Just, I don't understand the border scene in it. Like, why did they have to cross the border to be safe? I don't get that. Like, oh, Justin Trudeau is gonna save you. Yeah, right. Like, I don't get that part in the movie. I'm not, like, the villain I don't mind, but he's not, like, my favorite villain, but I do really like the other parts in this movie. Like, Patrick Stewart is great as Professor X at this one, and it's just about, like, showing that Logan wants to die because he's been through such hard life, and he just wants to be a taxi driver or die, and it's just so hard for him. But the winner of this 2017, which is a great year for movies, will be Gifted. Now, I know not many people know this movie, but I know it, and it's such a great movie. I do really, really like this one. Chris Evans is in this one. Kate McKinnon? No, she might be a different person, but a really good child actor in this one. I don't know how she wasn't nominated, but I don't know. Roman Griffin Davis should have won Best Actor, but he didn't. But when it comes down to Gifted, it's just such a good movie. You know, it's about family fighting over family. Wow, that doesn't sound very good. But it's about where they want the girl, like the grandma wants the girl to go to a math school, but Chris Evans wants the girl to go to a normal school because he wants her to play with, like, normal kids and do normal stuff a normal kid would do, but the grandma doesn't think that way. She just wants the girl to be smart and all that stuff. But it's such a sad film. But, you know, I thought it would have a sad ending, but, you know, it doesn't. If you're wondering, it doesn't. Spoiler. Kidding. But it is such a great movie. I definitely recommend this one. Moving on to 2018, we have a lot of honorable mentions. Now, first honorable mentions, of course, is Ready Player One. Ready Player One is a great movie. I really do think it should have won Best Visual Effects. I have no clue how First Man won. That doesn't even have visual effects. But Ready Player One should have won, just because it had an insane amount of visual effects. I think this is, like, a really good movie or a good movie. Like, you know, the story, I read the book of this movie, like, for a novel study at school. But when it comes down to, like, they took away a lot of F words, which I would have loved to see in the movie, but you got some good actors, actually. You got the guy who plays Cyclops as the main guy. Maybe you don't have actually a good selection of actors, but, you know, you got some great visual effects, some great music. The storyline's a bit off, like, you know, it could have been better, of course. It's just about getting, like, 3 keys and an Easter egg. Like, sure, it's a fun movie, but the storyline's not, like, the best. It's a really entertaining film, but storyline, not the best. But next honorable mention, we have Avengers Infinity War. Now, a lot of people say this is their favorite Marvel movie. This is not the case for me. I like other movies more, but other Marvel movies. Avengers Infinity War is the start of two parts and was adding up for, I believe, 10 years, Thanos. And it was great. I think it's great. It's a bit of a slow movie. Like the Guardians of the Galaxy and Thor are like, I'm not a big fan. Like, I like the banter between Star-Lord and Thor, but they could have, like, done more about Captain America and Iron Man's group and just, like, gone there more than just, like, there. Because, I do like that they put 3 parts together, but, they could have made this movie longer and better with characters, like adding Nova, adding more characters to the universe, like imagine seeing Nova and then seeing him fade away in the last scene of Infinity War and then seeing him again in Endgame appearing. Like that would be amazing. But it's a good movie. I like it. Moving on to our last honorable mention of 2018. It was really hard for me to decide these movies because I both love them so much. They're at my top 10. But I'm going to put this honorable mention, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. Now this movie is so unique in so many ways. I just love it. It's like my favorite Spider-Man, my favorite superhero, my favorite Marvel film, like all of them. It's one of my favorite movies. I just love this movie so much. Like, when I saw the first trailer for it back in 2017, which is weird how they released that, I was like, I'm not very excited. But when I saw the next one in, like, October 2018, I'm like, okay. But when I saw the movie, I'm like, I'm done. This movie was so good. I absolutely loved it. I haven't seen an animated movie that good in a long time. That's my favorite animated movie. So good. The experience was fun. It's fun to look back on it now. But the animation is so unique. I just love it. Like when Spider-Man threw the bagel at the guy's head, it actually said bagel. Like it was very unique, and it's something we've never seen before. Very not amazing revolutionary, but if movies start to become this way, this was the first one to ever do it. And I just think, whew, bravo Spider-Verse. And it's not just the animation. I'm going to keep this short, but it's also the music. This music was absolutely incredible. I love the music in it. Like, it didn't have the best original score, but it had, like, awesome music. So, Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. But, of course, the winner of 2018, my second favorite film of all time, is Black Klansman. This movie is absolutely incredible. The original score, incredible. The not original score, like the other music, incredible. The story, incredible. It's based on a true story, like, it is so good. I have no clue how this movie didn't win Best Original Score. Like, I'm proud of Black Panther for winning, like, the only Marvel movie. But Black Klansman definitely deserves it much more. And the actors, great. Great actors. Adam Driver is in this movie. You might know him as Kylo Ren, though. What a wimp. No, Adam Driver is such a good actor. Great in this one. I just really love this movie. Like, I saw it May 2019. I just love this movie so much. There's a lot. Like, I can't talk about much because it's just so good. Like, it's a cruel movie. Like that end where the main dude's trying to stop the girl, but the cops pull him down and start beating him, and he says he's a cop, and then Adam Driver comes in and saves the day. He's like, hey, what? Come on now. And I just really like this movie, and it's also a rewatchable movie. I know that sounds weird, but it's rewatchable just because it's so damn good. I don't know, like, I haven't seen a movie this good. Like, this is the best story I've ever seen in a movie. Great movie. But moving on to 2019, our honorable mentions. Our first one will be Avengers Endgame. Now, this movie is absolutely amazing. Like, I do really like this one. Visuals are fine. It's not like the huge battle was huge. I'm surprised this one didn't win. Like, I'm happy 1917 won. Like, I just didn't want Rise of Skywalker to win. But when it's like Endgame, I'm like, you know what? It should have won, but I'm fine with 1917. Like, the whole battle, that was huge. And then Cap's shield somehow appeared again, normal, like in one frame. I don't know. But this movie was the end to all the end to 11 years of adding up. It was absolutely insane. I can't believe this movie. Like, Captain America lifting Thor's hammer, spot on. Iron Man snapping, spot on. Black Widow sacrificing herself, spot on. Everything was so great about this movie, and I just, very, very rewatchable, very entertaining film. They even added a little bit of time travel, you know? I didn't think it was amazing with that, but, you know, I thought it was good, and I was happy. You know, this movie had that little twist to it. Hulkman, great. Fat Thor, really like. How was Rocket Raccoon in there? Like, he's wearing one of the suits. I think that's funny that Talking Raccoon is in the Avengers. Just, I don't know. But Captain Marvel's haircut, come on now. What type of haircut is that now? Like, maybe she doesn't look too bad sometimes, but, like, what type of haircut is that? She looked much better with long hair. Like, okay. But, making this too long, so moving to honorable mention number 2, which, you know, I'm going to tell you a story, sort of, not too long, but after The Last Jedi, I came out thinking, okay, you know, that one was decent, but maybe the next one might be pretty good. Maybe they'll find out their mistakes. And guess what? I watched it. I thought it was incredible. This movie was so good, you know? Like, the story, amazing. What they did was just incredible. The director was incredible. Wait, you thought I was talking about Star Wars? No. I was talking about Rian Johnson, Knives Out. This movie was fantastic. Love the murder mystery inside of it. You know, it's always tricking you. You think it's one person, but then it's not. And then you think it's this guy, but then it's not. I'm like, what? Rian Johnson, you are a fantastic director and writer. I do not know how you didn't win Best Original Screenplay. My dude, you should have won, not Parasite. But Knives Out is just amazing film. You know, it's so entertaining. Like, even the actors in it are great. Chris Evans, Anna de Armas, Daniel Craig, Don Johnson. You got a whole, the guy who plays Zod is in this one. You got a whole bunch of characters in this, and I'm sorry if I forgot your name, but so many characters in great cast, great story. This story is just so entertaining, and I just want to show everyone this movie because it is amazing. But moving on to our next honorable mention, which will be the last, which is 1917. Now, 1917 is it was very hard for me to decide this one over the other one, but 1917 and these two come very, very, very close, like this far away. But 1917, just, the other one has a bit of original taste, which I will talk about that, but 1917 was just full-on war. I didn't understand the guy crying in the battlefield when Schofield was asking him, but, you know, what can I say? It's war, and I just thought this movie was incredible. Like, the running across the field, like that it looks like to be in one shot. Like, how do they do that? I think Sam Mendes is a great director. He directed Skyfall, which is on this list, 2012, right? Spectra, and this one, and guess what? Shrek the Musical. Like, this dude's a phenomenal director. And I wish he won, but Bong Joon-ho, I support him for winning, because not many, like, I think he was the first one to win that wasn't in non-speaking language. Or maybe he wasn't, but he is a great director too. But Sam Mendes is excellent also. And 1917 is a great film. I just wish it had, like, this other one had original taste, but this one doesn't. But moving on to the winner of 2019 is Jojo Rabbit. Jojo Rabbit is just a great film. It mixes up with war, comedy, and drama. Like, Taika Waititi is a master of doing happy and sad movies. Like, Boy, happy, sad. Hunt for the Wilder People, happy, sad. Thor Ragnarok, like a little bit. Like Odin dying, like a little bit. Eagle vs. Shark, that was happy, sad. But this one brings it all to the drama part. Like, it is absolutely incredible. I think it's a bit repetitive, but other than that, it's like my third favorite movie of all time. It is so good. The humor in this movie is so incredible. Yoki, really good. Archie Yachts plays him. Good actor. Great cast. You got Roman Griffin Davis, Archie Yachts. Scarlett Johansson, Black Widow. Sam Rockwell, who plays Gentleman Bronco's Bronco in it. Rebel Wilson, Taika Waititi. You got everyone in this movie, and it is such a great film. I really can't wait to see Next Goal Wins, like I said before. But Jojo Rabbit is so good. I think Taika Waititi did the best story on this one. I think What We Do in the Shadows is better because it's stupider. But Jojo Rabbit has the best story from Taika Waititi. And just, like, things where, what's her name? Scarlett Johansson tells Jojo, you'll get butterflies in your stomach. And then Jojo's like, ew. And then the butterfly, Jojo follows the butterfly to his mom, which, spoiler warning, she dies. Spoiler. But then he hugs her, and it's really sad. Like, this dude is a great director. Definitely recommend this film. But moving on to our last one, 2020, which I'm gonna assume some movies that might be my favorite, and then I'll tell you what my favorite one was so far. So I'm gonna assume that Tenet might be my favorite, Next Goal Wins might be my favorite, F9 could be my favorite. It's quite low chance. There's quite a couple. No Time to Die could be my favorite. Quiet Place 2 could be my favorite. Ghostbusters could even be my favorite. Black Widow could be my favorite. There's a couple. But so far, right now, I think my favorite movie of 2020 is Bad Boys for Life. Bad Boys for Life is just like after 14 or 15 years, they come back together, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith, to make Bad Boys for Life, which is the third Bad Boys film, my favorite Bad Boys film. And this movie isn't like my favorite anytime near, but it's my favorite movie of 2020 so far. Love the action, love the humor. I don't know when it says Sonic and says this is the funniest film of the year. No, I think Bad Boys for Life is. Even though it's not like the funniest film, like I think Bad Boys for Life is a funny film still. And can't wait to see Bad Boys 4, just because Bad Boys for Life was a good movie. I wouldn't say it's the best, because this movie doesn't have the best plot, because it's not like a stupid movie, but the plot goes a bit over the place with Will Smith has a son, and then he wants to save the son, but wants to kill the mother, because, it's all over the place. And I think it's a good movie. I just don't think it's going to be the best movie of 2020. I would be definitely surprised if it stays in the spot, which it won't. Well, that has been my favorite movies from every year I've been alive. So thanks for watching. Please subscribe and leave a like.